everybody, welcome to my Suburban Oasis. It's good to see you. It's a beautiful day today. We are expecting another frost soon, so I've been running my plants in and out of the house. But I have some random garden things to do today. I got some plants on clearance, and I have some plants that I want to trim and prune a little bit, and so I'll just take you around the garden with me doing a little bit of garden maintenance. Hope you enjoy. Oh, and check out this beautiful azalea that's blooming. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, let's get started. Okay, so I got a couple more of these. I went back to Lowe's because I really wanted to fill in this end of the bed just with color. So I'm gonna do that. I might even fill in some other things later. But right now we'll get 2 of these planted, and then I have a couple of garden phlox that are keeping ground cover over here that I also got from Lowe's, and we'll get those planted as well. So again, I'm just going to use the same method that I used the other day, which is to pull back the mulch, take out the arborist mulch, and then I will plant the plant down in there. And I do have a little bit of soil from another area of my garden just to put around the roots. And today I'm only wearing one glove, you guys, because I got bit by a bee, but I don't seem to be having too bad of a reaction. Sometimes I have allergies to them, and I'm just so glad that I'm not, because I hate having to take the steroids for them. I also found a plant that at the store in the trash. I was walking by, and I'll show you that. I asked them if I could take it, and they said yes, and I think it will grow back just fine. Just a matter of patience. Alright, I also soaked these plants in water, so their roots should be well hydrated already. So I'm not going to water them in, even though that would be part of my normal process. I don't need to today. Alright, one more in the back there. And I am just taking some of the roots off of these plants because they are in like a peat moss. It just kind of overholds the moisture. Okay, now let's get the ground phlox in. So right now is actually a good time to go to stores to get sales on things that are spring bloomers that have gone out of bloom. A lot of times the stores will mark them down about 50% after they have gone out of bloom. But all it means is that you have to wait until next year for the blooms to come back if they're just a spring blooming plant. There's nothing wrong with them. So they're a pretty good deal. Usually they'll mark them down about 40-50%. Oh, and so for those of you who didn't watch my first video when I planted these dianthus, they are called Black Cherry Wild, and they're part of the Proven Winner Fruit Punch series, and they're hardy down to zone 4. These here are Purple Sprite, and they are a perennial phlox, and they like full sun, and they are hardy down to zone 3, so super hardy. And they do spread. This has a ton of roots that are bound here, so I'm just going to pull off the bottom of this one also if I can. Those are some tough roots. There we go. All right, one more phlox to do. So everything came through the frost last night pretty well. We have some buds on these viburnums here, as well as my Sambuca elderberry, the black lace one. And I really don't want to lose those buds. We do have one more frost probably coming in a couple nights where it's supposed to get down to 31. And I just want to see the flowers on these because I planted them last fall. And I would hate to miss them, you know, the first year that I planted them in. Today's one of the first days we haven't had a super wind while I'm filming. We did have a lot of wind earlier on today when I was at my son's soccer game. Made it super cold. So this is just soil from another part of my garden that we were digging up where the pool heat pump is going to go in. The nice thing about that is it has some good soil bacteria already in it based on where I live. So this is about as high as it's going to go. I have some maniac salvia back here that usually grows about this tall at least, but these will probably be faded by the time that those bloom, and I will shear them back at that point. Right now I'm just going to let them kind of do their thing so I don't stress them out too much after transplanting into a new spot. Okay, so here's what it looks like. See, I've got the Dianthus on this end as well as at this end, but it just looks a little more full now down here because I needed a little bit on this end because of the curve. And then those ground flax in the front are a really pretty light color that kind of helps lighten it up, because a lot of the colors in this bed right now are fairly dark, so I really like that. Check it out. It's only been in the ground for a minute and this bee has already found it. You see him? Okay, so we're going to come back here. We're in a bit of, it's partial sun for sure. But again, I plan to take this guy out right here so I can bring in just a skosh more sun into this bed. So I'd like to plant some of these creeping phlox in here. They might not be as vigorous because of the lack of sun, but I think they will help to fill in beautifully. These do get full morning sun, and then there is more sun over here later on in the afternoon. Oh, I might not be able to plant here. Nope, I can't. I have some bigger sticks. I guess we'll go to the other direction here. So, I just have one more plant, and I'm going to put it in here, right by my weeping spruce, my weeping Norway spruce that I just planted, and my variegated boxwood that's right next to it. I think that's going to look pretty. Such a nice contrast between that and that golden euonymus there. Hopefully I can get a good hold back here. A lot of small sticks and debris back here because I've used it as a place to put a lot of my plants over the years, or my trimmings I should say, after I've done pruning. All right, let's see how that looks.
Yeah, that's pretty, especially when the sun shines on it and it actually perks up a little bit and is blooming. I think that looks real nice. The golden euonymus back here, when it's shady like this, it just kind of glows. And those phlox look nice where they're at too. It's coming together real nice. Everything's starting to pop, you guys. Just walk down this way a little bit, show you my ground phlox over here is coming up. And I have some variegated lamium. This is lamium. It's very pretty, but it also has a tendency to take over. Fairly easy to pull, but because it has so many flowers and flowers for so long, it drops seeds everywhere. But it's pretty. Let me show you something else that's happening in the yard right now. My Japanese maple is coming back. Hallelujah. And doesn't it look gorgeous next to that elderberry? Oh, lemony lime. And then my Japanese painted ferns are coming up back here. They're hard to see in the shade when they first come up, but they are coming through and looking pretty. The hostas are coming up. They did get a lot of freeze damage, but things are starting to bounce back a bit, which is awesome. And look at those pulmonarias down there, you guys. Look at the blue. Okay, this was the bed that I was just working in the other day and extending out. You can see back here the Japanese ferns are also starting to come up. You see those? It's very difficult, but they don't contrast well until their colors start to come out. But just look at this lungwort. Oh, it's so pretty this time of year. And then also all of the ajuga, the beautiful purple flower that is a ground cover, is definitely doing well also. And I'll show you this other spot that we're working on for the pool heat pump, because I've had to move some of the stuff around here. I had to take out one of my variegated Wigelia, so I decided to center the one that I left right here behind her head. There was one on either side of her, but there just wasn't room for two of them back behind her. So I think that's going to work out well though. It's just, she's kind of in a garden that's a little bit symmetrical, so I wanted to try to keep that look going, and having shifted everything a little bit to the right, there just wasn't enough room for it. I'm not looking forward to honestly having the heat pump here, but hopefully that hydrangea will cover it up during the summer when we're out and about. I think it will do a good job. If not, we'll try something else, right? My pink mink clematis is really just going to town right now, climbing up this vine. It's brand new this year. It seems really happy in its spot. My onions are growing really well. Got all sorts of stuff coming up in the vegetable garden. Just walking you around a little bit before we end. My dahlias. My God, you guys, I can't wait until I can get these in the ground instead of having to run them back and forth inside. My elephant ears are starting to come up. My broccoli and Brussels sprouts are looking good. Here are my peppers, marigolds that I grew from seed, peppers from seed. There's hot and sweet. I've got tomatoes back here. There's good-hearted tomatoes. There's cherry tomatoes. There's Glacier Falls tomatoes. And then all of these petunias that are in the back here, I grew all of these from seed. They actually were winter sown. And then I just potted them up. And then in here I have some cute little eggplants and some gourds and some basil, rosemary. I'm growing a husband over here. He's looking pretty good. I think he's healthy. And then I've got some pots up here. And this is the view to our fountain from our deck. All right, well, I hope you all have enjoyed this tour today and some of those random tasks I had in terms of getting some plants in the ground. And if you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and even hit the notification bell to join me again next time. Thanks again, and see you next time. Bye!